So this week's doodle, I went back to a previous doodle. This is kind of special circumstances on a couple of these monster doodles. The guys over at Monster Day have been giving them 5th edition Dungeons and Dragons stats. And one of them had asked if I could create a series of variants for the Mimic Spider, so that they can turn it into like a racial player class. So I started doing that this week, and that's what this week's monster draw is dedicated towards. Is kind of designing some little quick variants on a theme. I started out with this little backpack merchant class version of the species. Because their species shouldn't be all warriors, fighters, and thieves or anything like that. They would have like average citizens of the culture. But I started out with just concepting like 2 of them. And it didn't really necessarily. I think the merchant could be done better. So I plan to go back to that at some point. But I started working on this second silhouette. And I feel like this one turned out a lot better. And I stuck with it. I'm looking forward to seeing what they develop for this race. And these 2, of course, won't be the only ones I'll be doing. I'll be doing a few more. But right now I'm just kind of roughing out everything. But I had to shoot this video on 2 separate days. So this cleanup drawing and the 2 sketches of the merchant spiderkin and this kind of beefy warrior class were the first day. I did them on Monday. And then Friday I went back and added all the color and detail to this warrior class of the species, and you'll see that here in a bit. But that's just so you know, it was 2 separate recordings to get to that point. And I constantly refer back to the original because it's one of those, like, I want to keep the style fairly similar. So I constantly refer back to the original one I did to make sure that I'm using the same type of markings and features that I used on the previous one. And if I had gone back at this point and redone parts of this, I probably would have given him one of those scythe-like blade arms on both sides. So it'd be on his left side, he'd be holding it with one of his appendage, the flambear, however you say that sword, holding it in one hand, and then the other hand would be a little bit lower, and it'd be one of those insect sickle type of blades. So at this point, it's two separate. This is the second video that's about to start. When I go back in to start adding color to this. I was talking to people over on Twitch. They're asking me questions. So occasionally you'll see me kind of slow down or stop, or I'll pull back to show some stuff off. Like a moment ago, I was showing off the knot mages that I'd done, because I plan on doing a couple variants of that as well. Talking to people on Twitch while working is kind of weird. I noticed there's a good like 10 to 30 second delay between when I say something and it going to Twitch and it playing on Twitch, which is kind of strange. I gotta check my settings. I'm sure it's something on my end. I played around with the idea of maybe making his armor copper or bronze or something like that, but I didn't really like the look of it, so I went back to kind of a blue steel for that. And I sped up the coloring process a little bit faster than the doodling process for this video. I wanted to make sure that I feel like the videos get bogged down in the coloring process because it takes a lot longer than you would expect it to. I think altogether between the drawings and this coloring, it's probably close to 3 hours. And that's like doing the silhouettes and then the two separate sketches and then the final drawing and then coming back and doing final color on this one. It's probably close to 3 hours. I'm not exactly happy with this edging I did on this sword. From when I pull back, it looks fine, but up close, I wasn't positive if that looked good. Yeah, somebody asked me about the other drawing, and I'm going to go back and improve upon it and do a final color of that. And I'll record that and put it up on YouTube as well. But I think this second mimic spider turned out really well, and hopefully that you found this informative. I think the size between the two of them is off. This warrior type of mech spider would actually be bigger than this first one, but they're not to scale to each other currently on screen. But thanks for watching, and catch another video next week.